The German Wife by Debbie Rix, published by WW2, and this is a novel that is set just in the early years, just before World War II starts going forward, but mainly it is set in Munich and in Dachau. Annaliese is a young woman who has been brought up by a grocer, and he then dies and passes on his shop to her. But it's not her thing, it's not really making money, so she decides to sell and start a new vocation. She becomes a secretary, and she soon meets a doctor called Hans Vogel, who courts her, and it's a very old-fashioned, kind of very time-appropriate kind of courtship. He comes from a fairly posh, wealthy family. She doesn't, and his mother, Elisabetta, is not keen on his choice of woman or partner, and she is frowned upon, but they nevertheless get married and they settle into their own home, and that's where the story kind of starts. Hans is a doctor who has specialised in trying to find a cure for malaria, and of course this is a time when the Nazis are really in charge of everything. The war's just started, and he is invited to carry on his experiments into malaria and other communicable diseases at Dachau. Now, he doesn't realise at that point what he's getting into, but it soon becomes clear what kind of place Dachau is. He keeps the information of what he's doing and what's happening there from Annaliese, and goes into himself. He gets depressed and closes down, and their marriage starts to falter. Their garden in their new home has gone to rack and ruin, and he happens to find a man from Russia who he has been working with in Dachau, and he kind of spares him because he's a gentle soul, he's an architect, and so he thinks he'd be a good choice to be the new gardener to restore their garden to what it was. But of course Annaliese finds him quite attractive, and whilst her relationship with her husband is dwindling, there is something there that she knows may well proliferate, I guess is the word, and so she looks at him, and there are other issues now burbling all around, and theirs is a relationship that takes them forward. This story apparently is based on a true story, so a woman has relationships with her gardener, and there are consequences all around. That kind of thing of course is frowned upon in the Nazi party, and then we move forward a few years to where she looks back on her life, and a lot of it begins to make sense. And I think from the sort of primary idea of the woman falls for her gardener, there's an awful lot more that's going on, and it's a beautifully fleshed out story. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I felt it was a really good and very engaging read, and it felt very sensitive in dealing with the issues of the time. So I really enjoyed The German Wife by Debbie Rix.